Should really have some sort of music or something. Sort of a DMCA free, royalty free music. Dude, imagine if my little baby Twitch channel gets DMCA striked. That would be very sad. Alright, I tend to start the videos when a huge blow gets high level Yomi gameplay everywhere. True. I mean, let's be honest, this is probably the channel that's most active for Yomi gameplay. So I definitely agree, would be a blow. Oh, we stuck a W in there. Nice. Good start. Good stuff. I actually went ahead and like made like when you scroll down, you can see I just have to copy and paste the characters, and we're off, which means the video is gonna start soon. And who's Zeus playing? Just playing the Jin. Bam. How's that look? Does that look okay? Pre-writing copy and paste is a good innovation. Agree. It took me like a minute last time. No ice cards in my card list. Yeah, good innovation indeed. I agree. Because I really struggled. Typing out because you guys gave me no quarter. Anyway, video's about to start, right? Because these guys are about to flip. Let's switch to spectator. Take a sip of water. 3, 2, 1. Why am I counting? I'm not cutting this. Whatever. 3, 2, 1, go. Hello, everyone. CPAT here with another Exceed commentary. And today we have the final quarterfinals match in Chimera Summer Bash. The first 3 have kind of been blowouts in that they were all 3-0. But hopefully we get a competitive match here. It's just me today, so we do have the card tracker again live. But if I get flustered, I'm probably just not going to use it. I'm going to rely on my pure Exceed skill and intuition to remember the cards. What cards have been spent and what cards have not been. Anyways, we have migohunter on red side going second with the Akuma. I got ZeusPegasus13 on blue side with the Jin. So both these players have actually brought Jin. Zeus opting to bring out the Jin right away. I think Jin has been, from what I've seen, Jin has been his most successful character, or his best looking character rather, just from the eye test. But we are ready to go. Zeus, from what I've seen, tends to play what I like to call the head empty Jin, which is going to be using this UA quite a bit. When you set your attack, you may spend 1 gauge to gain after draw 2. Just basically rather aggressive style of Jin, you know, just keeping up the pressure, going with, I mean, I guess regardless of what style of Jin you play, you're always going to have some sort of advantage chain because this character has advantage for days. Bam. Where's the other one? Bam. Bam. But I've seen Zeus aggressively use this gauge for that. Anyway, we have Akuma on red side for Migo. It's the first time I've seen, maybe the second time I've seen the Akuma. Maybe we see the permafrost boosted +4 guard now. Draw 2. Just get full hand right away. Cycle the permafrost as well. Will the guard matter? I'm not sure. I feel like it probably won't. We're gonna, on Migo's turn, we're gonna see the Ashura Senku boosted to key charge. Interesting. So quick way for Akuma to build his first gauge. And then just a prepare action, cycling the spike as well. That is not the right one. Boom. Bam. Normally I feel like I don't really see Migo use this the key charge very often. Oh yeah, this guy wants... We'll give him what he asked for. We'll give him some counters. Yeah, I forgot. So Migo only tracks... Wait, this card tracker is superfluous. Zeus tracks all the cards. It's superfluous. Zeus tracks all the cards. Migo tracks specials and ultras. It's either superfluous or it'll be a good crutch for me. So that way, when I forget something, it'll just be on there right away. Anyways, back to Jin, who has a full hand. Jin, range 4 options here. We're looking at the Ice Blade, 2-5, 4-3-5, Slowish Fireball, and we're looking at the Crystal Strike, Fast Dive shape, 1-3-5. For Akuma, range 4 options, we're looking at, I mean, we're not really looking at this. We're kind of looking at this, but also not really. And we're looking at the Fireball shape, 2-6, 5-4. I wonder if Migo's putting a gauge down because he has EX Godo in hand, which would be speed 6 with the critical. So maybe that's something that Zeus should be looking out for. Migo does sometimes use criticals on front side. Not often, but I mean, +2 power is nothing to sneeze at, even though you are delaying your Exceed side for later. I guess in that case, the 4-guard actually does matter then, because then an Ice Blade was able to trade with a critical EX Godo. So I guess this 4-guard might actually be relevant, interestingly enough. What is Zeus doing? Oh, Zeus is just looking at the cards. Okay, I was like, what's going on here? It's turn 2, but it looks like he's familiarizing himself with Akuma's kit. Opting for a strike here, so, I mean, we have Ice Blade as a slow fireball, Crystal Strike is the fast dive, could just be regular dive as well. Migo can't just smash the critical EX Godo if he has it. I mean, we surmise that he has it. He might not. Because that would... I guess it would trade all right into the Ice Blade. What critical EX Godo is... Where's that card? Here. Would be 6 power, I believe. So it'd be a 6 for 6 trade. Or if Migo just goes safe here. Yeah, he just goes safe with the focus. And yeah, Jin will dive in. Dive will hit first for 3. Focus will hit afterward for 4. Pretty standard stuff. Migo now has 2 gauge. Kuma's gauge cost for exceeding is 2. However, he generally tends to exceed at 3 gauge. Just so that he can get the value off the critical right away. Then maybe Migo can exceed here. If you notice, he has 6 cards in hand. Exceeding is an action that will bring him up to 7. No, we're going to see the parry come out. I wonder what Migo parries. Maybe DP? No, parries focus. Okay. Like random above curve EXs are the death of Akuma. But no, Migo says I'd much rather get rid of the focus instead from Jin. Successful parry as well. Back to Jin here. Jin at 5 cards. Can afford to prep once if he wants. Range 1, Jin has some good melee options here. I mean, he has a card that can turn into a Sweep Breaker. Won't in this scenario because Jin only has 5 cards in hand. Has a DP shape 1-2, 4-7 when Jin initiates. And has this dual Ice Strike in hand as well. We're actually just going to see a very aggressive preemptive come out. So preemptive spending block with an after draw 2 on it. Believe in this scenario I've seen Zeus play Assault. Range 1 would be on curve, and I've seen him do that before. They can mix it up with weird cards like this, I guess. But Assault's the card that makes the most sense by far. Is definitely the Telegraph. We see Migo respond with the Sweep. And it's actually a Jin Sweep as well, so Jin going for a little bit of a tricky mix-up there. Both players will take 6. Migo does build his 3rd gauge. Drops the Zugai Hazatsu off the sweep trigger. So I mean, this is a good boost, but not the biggest loss for Akuma. Since Akuma went first, or since Jin went first, excuse me, the after draw 2 goes off first, and then the sweep trigger happens. Actually discarding the 2nd block for Jin, so no blocks early on. Which means that those critical fast options from Akuma are going to be pretty scary. Don't really need to fully rely on the whatchamacallit. Where is it? The Hyakushu to ignore armor. Leave. Yep. Okay. So Migo just boosts Spite +1 speed, hit added to gauge, over exceeding. Interestingly enough. Would have expected Migo to mash the Exceed right away, but going for some cheeky stuff instead. Jin has a lowish hand size. Obviously, it doesn't really matter too much. Whoops. That pop-up is annoying, and I will try not to do that in the future. I mean, Jin doesn't really have to worry about cards too much. I mean, this man draws a billion cards and gains advantage a billion times. Zeus will prep once. Wonder, surely Migo's not holding... Yeah, I was about to say, surely Migo's not wanting to hold, like, a threat of, like, a demon over his opponent's head. And no, not the case here. Migo opts to exceed. Take a look at Akuma's backside. Critical, both players have +3 power. +3 power is really great. Allows you to break a lot of break points. Like 4 becomes 7. 3 becomes 6 isn't that important, but 4 becomes 7 I think is super important. I mean, Jin has, on top of Sweep, Jin also has a 6 defense move into the Dual Ice. Yeah, definitely very, very important. You see the Scorn come out, push 1, draw 1, take another action. Putting Migo at Jin's preferred range of 2. Wonder what comes out after that. I mean, such a good boost, right? Just move and I think in Exceed is really underrated. I think I've said that quite a bit. So maybe if you guys are listening, it's not so underrated anymore. But move and is just so underrated in Exceed. And moving your opponent just as valuable, if not more so. I think we're going to see Zeus go for a strike here. Maybe fast slow mix-up. We'll have to contend with potential 8-speed Goshori. I mean, we see one of them is down, but Akuma also has a DP shape, right? And we're going to see the after draw 2 boosted on it. The head empty Jin coming in strong for Zeus here. Let's see how Akuma responds. I mean, a crit Goshori would be 6. Unfortunately, that doesn't really pop the defenses of a card like this. We're actually going to see the Wild Swing Goshoryu beat Jin's cross. Interesting, Jin went for the cross there. But hey, Wild Swing Goshoryu. Migo didn't have it in hand, but when you don't have it in hand, it's always on the top of your deck, right? Fortunately, it's only 3. So Jin not hurting too much there, but Akuma builds 2 gauge off it. Range 3, place where, yep, instant Hell Murder becomes very good. I mean, light boosts are good at range 3, but how about this one? Plus 3 speed if you have 3 or more bonus power, and you can get 3 bonus power extremely easy. Jin already has spent a dive on turn 1 to strike, which I guess I didn't really mention at the time, but you really want to be saving your dives for techs against Akuma. Akuma with speed is how Akuma wins, generally. Means that Akuma doesn't have to tend with random backside EXs. Jin down both blocks as well, down a focus and a sweep, like running low on defensive options. Just prepares here, but this is going to be a very scary strike for Jin to contend with. I mean, down a cross as well, although cross is not really a defensive option here against this boost in particular for the most part. I mean, we're going to see Migo critical strike here. I mean, spike or dive, right? Could be the Hyakushu as well, which ignores armor, although ignore armor not the most important with Jin having both blocks down, but still good. Jin has no gauge, so I mean the high speed option he can do is EX Assault at speed 6, and that's not nearly fast enough for this. Jin should probably just wild swing and accept that he's going to lose this strike. But interesting to see Jin prep there in that scenario with the instant Hell Murder out at +3, at range 3, excuse me. +3 speed at range 3 is just absolutely beautiful, just brutal. That's Akuma's wheelhouse. So maybe a little bit of matchup deficiency there from Jin. Not really a matchup, but just character, not really understanding the character real well. But this is the wrong neighborhood. And yeah, it's gonna be the Hyakushu. Hyakushu is gonna be a 7-power Hyakushu, ignoring armor. The wild swing focus will lose. And suddenly, poor Jin's on only 10 HP. And Akuma still has just so ample resources to play with. This is looking really, really tough for Jin. I mean, Jin can do an advantage chain in theory, but just one random critical option from Akuma can just win the game. I guess Jin will have to probably go for a big advantage chain at some point. That's how I see Jin coming back in this matchup. And that's not a difficult thing to do as Jin, right? I mean, like we said before, Jin has a billion different ways to gain advantage, but this is looking pretty brutal. Just this Akuma all over Jin. Oh, by the way, just in case, I mean, Jin wasn't stunned, look at that after, right? Attacks at range 1 do not hit you for the rest of the strike. Yeah, that is just another reason why you don't want to stand at range 3 with the instant Hell Murder up. Anyway, back to Jin here. Jin going for the ignore armor, now strike, hit, add this to your gauge. I mean, we'll build 2 gauge really easily, I guess. For what it's worth. In theory, there's still like a mix-up here. I mean, could be going fast. It's kind of running out of slow options, though. Is Jin. So I think Migo would probably play the odds here and respond with a slow if he has it. Just because if we look at the handy-dandy deck tracker, we can look at the slow options down. It's going to be the Violent Ice speeding out the Wild Swing Dive. That's a handy 4 damage, I guess. Guess Migo did not have the slow in hand, because I feel like he would have played the slow so often there. Notably, Migo cannot mash a range speed 7 option here with crit. Because Jin does have the EX Grasp on deck. So instead we're going to see the second copy of Tatsu also boosted as +1 speed, hit, add this to your gauge. I don't think this is tech bait. I think this is just Migo on a lowish hand size. Just saying this is the best speed boost I've got. I mean, it's down a light. And is down in instant Hell Murder as well. I don't believe Akuma has any other sources of speed. I'm pretty sure he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't. I think this is Migo. This is not tech bait. I think this is Migo saying this is the fastest speed boost I've got, and Jin actually going to match it with the second copy of the preemptive, and not even match it, surpass it, +2 speed with an after draw 2 on it as well. Last time Jin went slow here, but I'm thinking this is I don't know. I'm thinking this is Assault again, honestly. Like, I mean, could be the mix-up. Kuma just gonna block it. It's a speed 9 grasp, because of course it is. Well, that's a... I mean, Jin gets decent value on it. Gets after draw 2. But... I mean, block is just free there, right, for Migo. Jin has no ignore armor options at range 1. Oh, weird. That's, remind me to fix that post. The card tracker is... For some reason, Muzong is not crossed out. Actually, none of the specials are crossed out. Why is that? I wonder if it overrides my conditional formatting if I copy and paste into those squares, which is annoying. Yeah, the dots mean there's one copied live. I just missed that one. Thank you. Ice Pop. Coming in clutch there. Jin says, don't want to be on short side of board. Crossover to center. Taking range 1, notably. Kuma has EX Grasp live. I mean, 3 cards, so I'm not really sure if that's real. But, see the Permafrost boosted in response, plus 4 guard. Yeah, I think the deck tracker does not like it when I copy and paste into those squares. So we're not going to see the specials and ultras crossed out. Sad, I mean, but you can just look at the little dots. The little dots they'll guide you. Don't worry about that. Migo just prepared, saying, I mean, I'm holding a 178. That's a 4 gauge ultra, by the way. I'm holding a 178 over your head. What are you gonna do about it? I mean, Permafrost means that Jin can trade, right? Because focuses are down on Jin's side. So, I mean, outside of a random EX that gives 8 defenses, we're really not going to be seeing too much to defend against the grass. But with the cool under pressure boosted from Jin, there are options here for sure that would make me go wary of just striking with the critical EX grasp if he has it. And obviously, with every turn that passes, that makes me go one step closer to drawing the second instant Hell Murder, although there is a tech on deck for Jin, if necessary. Jin going for the early reshuffle here, bringing the Arctic Dungeon to hand. 4 gauge Ultra, hit. I had no idea it had this hit effect. Hit, the opponent discards their hand. I mean, obviously just going to get bursted, but with the Jin only on 1 gauge. But I mean, early reshuffle, I can respect it, especially because I've seen a lot of players in this tournament, especially, and just in general, reset or just reshuffle too late. So I don't mind the early reshuffle. I'm get the defensive options back into the deck. We got that handy dandy reset button there. All those options now back up for Jin. Which is important. Notably, not up for this turn, right? So that's the thing about Season 5. So Season 5, when they reshuffle, they draw their Astral on their turn. So that means you do get a free turn where you don't have to contend with a new card outside of the Astral, which is unplayable, obviously. But I don't think it'll matter so much here. You see Migo initiate a crit here. This can be spicy. I mean, initiating crit into +4 guard is pretty saucy, I must say. It's pretty saucy. I mean, is this crit cross to bait out the dual ice, maybe? Would Migo go for a play like this? I mean, if it loses, it's catastrophic. But, I mean, we see Jin having both these options up pre-reshuffle. Wow, just went for the grasp. And Jin responds with the DP, not going to be good enough. I am shocked that Migo went for 6 power grass there, because I feel like that could have been Jin's avenue back in if Migo was able to successfully trade, or if excuse me, Zeus was able to successfully trade, but not the case there. That's just a 6 damage grasp, and that's probably the nail in the coffin there. Migo pushing Jin to range 3. We see that the EX Assault is an option for Akuma here. EX Godo also speed 6. That's going to be pretty scary for Jin to contend with if he continues to stand at range 3. But wow, I just can't believe I can't believe Migo just doesn't care. Says I'm just gonna out Yomi you. Take the 6 power grass, my friend. Jin on his turn will be able to at least burst for 2 additional cards and take another action. There's a world where he draws a fun EX option, but I don't know if 3 is the right range for Jin. I think he's going to have to find a better range than 3. Wow, just striking. Range 3. Range 3 mix-up live for Jin. Jin has no above curve options with no gauge. Says, I mean, I don't think you've drawn the EX Assault or the EX Goado just yet. Wonder if Jin goes for a cheeky mid-speed here. It is a cheeky mid-speed. It's a dive. Dive will beat the Wild Swing Spike. Jin will draw 2 off that. Interesting, Jin still holding on to the Astral. Pretty sure I did not see that burst. Yeah, I don't see it anywhere on the board. Jin at range 1 again. I mean, better than range 3, and I mean, I guess when you're down life, you have to be making those kind of risks, right? Or like you have a higher chance of making those kind of risks. And Jin takes one there, works out for him. I mean, obviously, I don't think Migo would strike with a critical Goadoken, single copy, right? We're gonna see the instant hell murder boosted if you have plus 3 or more. If you have 3 or more bonus power, plus 3 speed. I mean, Jin using a second dive in combat gets punished the same exact way he did the first time. Zeus Assassin not learning his lesson. Kuma saying, how many times do I have to teach you this lesson, old man? Don't use your dives in combat, use them for techs. Kuma now with the speed 7 ignore armor option. We're going to see the parry come out. Parries the Hyakushu successfully, so threat was real. Nobly parry means that, I mean, that's just one armor option for Akuma down, right? I mean, we did see Jin reshuffle with both dual ice strikes left in the deck. So that's an option that can armor through like a grass, but can't armor through like an assault, right? Unless it's EX'd. Nope, Migo just opts for the prep, says, I mean, this plus 3 speed's good enough. Please deal with it, Jin. One errant critical and Zeus could be dead. Actually, Jin actually says, okay, I'm going to try to contest the speed. Pops a plus 2 speed on. So now Migo with 1 effective speed above. It's not suddenly like a crit EX is not, a crit assault is not looking fantastic here for Migo. But Jin actually attempting to contest speed here, interestingly enough. I mean, makes sense. Both Hyakushus are down, so there's no ignore armor option for Jin or for Akuma at range 1. Migo says, okay, striking with a critical, luckily, we know this is the EX Assault. So EX Assault would be what, speed 9? Would have 8 power, so beats the EX Dual Ice, as in it kills it. So let's see. Does Zeus have the second block? Is what we're looking for here. Can contend with actually no, down a Violent Ice and down to Grass, so can't actually match the speed with it, or beat the speed with the EX. Since both speed 7 options from Jin are down. So this is just blocker bust for Jin here. See Zeus flailing his cursor around like, oh no, it's +3 speed. What am I going to do? +4 speed. Even. Well, Zeus, now's your time to block if you got it, bud. Zeus checking his discard. There's no way to outspeed this assault. Jin spending for after draw 2, because why not, I guess. No, and then taking it back. Okay. I mean, do we see the block? We do not see the block. This is going to be an 8 damage EX Assault into 3 armor of the Dual Ice. Jin loses game 1. Akuma with the game 1 win. I mean, abusing these hints and helmers with Jin spending 2 dives in combat. But overall, just Akuma, just for the most part, which is winning neutral. As we see the hand, yeah, nothing helpful here. I mean, not bursting could have mattered. I mean, it gets you 2 deeper into the deck. I don't really know what the Astral's doing in hand. But I mean, Jin played a move that didn't... That ended turn, so he'd draw 1 and then would have to discard cards as well. But I mean, the Astral sitting in hand could be a potential mistake there as well. I mean, Jin could have gone 2 cards further into that deck to draw the second assaults. But yeah, Migo handily just winning neutral there for the most part. And yeah, that's Zeus's best character, I think. From what I've seen, that looked like Zeus's best character throughout pools. But Migo takes him down with the Akuma. Anyway, this is a best of 5 set. So Migo has 3 characters, with which he has to win 2 games. He has the Jin, the Gordo, and the Propeller. Zeus can re-up with the Jin, and also has the Zangief, the Polar, and the Aurier to his name. I don't think Migo will opt into the mirror match here. I think he'll go Gordo. Zeus was totally willing to play a mirror match game 1, so I think he'll... I don't remember what his tendencies were after losing a game, whether he wanted to run it back or pick a new character. I actually just don't remember. But I think Migo's probably going to be going to the Gordo here. I gave Migo some really good Gordo practice yesterday. And yeah, we're going to see the Gordo. And we're going to see the Zangief come out. So this is actually the one matchup I did not practice with Migo, interestingly enough. Let's replace the card tracker real quick. Migo's Gordo is... It's good. It's good. I think not only is Migo's Gordo good, I think people are underestimating how difficult the decision of discarding a card is. So we'll take a look at Gordo's UA here. Action Strike, your attack has hit, the opponent must discard a card. This puts a lot of onus on your opponent to discard the right card. And into Migo in this tournament, as well as what I've experienced, discarding the wrong card can be catastrophic. I think for that reason alone, Gordo is kind of better than where he would be placed in a lot of tier lists, mine included. Just because there is a lot of room for your opponent to make mistakes when you're getting consistently just bombarded with this UA, Gordo has a billion ways to gain advantage as well, right? Bam, advantage, bam, advantage, bam, advantage, bam, advantage. Like, literally a third of Gordo's cards read gain advantage on them. And what I've been noticing, both into Migo in the tournament and just from my experiences practicing with Migo, just in general, it's just that there's a lot of room for you as Gordo's opponent to misplay with this UA. So it'll be interesting to see if Zeus has the matchup knowledge into Gordo, is able to have the foresight to keep the correct cards in hand. Because otherwise Gordo will win, right? You need to have the foresight to keep the right amount of cards in hand. You can't be too aggressive. You can't be too passive, right? It's a very interesting dance that you have to play against a Gordo, and Migo's good at Gordo. He knows how to play the characters. So let's see if Zeus is able to pull it out with the Geef. I believe we saw Zeus's Geef into Ice Pop during the tiebreak round. The first round of Geef was not convincing, but he did win game 3 with the Geef. And we'll take a look at Geef here. If your opponent's at range 1, you say your attack against crit, +1 power, +1 speed. And then bam, we got a bunch of good range 1 cards here. Atomic Suplex becomes speed 7. Flying Powerbomb gains stun immunity. We got some good boosts here. We've got range dodge here, which can be important against Gordo. With Gordo having multiple fireballs, we have the ignore armor, ignore guard option at speed at range 1. And we have the focus like as well. Take a look at Gordo's kit real quick. Gordo has 2 melee mid speeds in the Mortal Glide and the Precise Aim. So these are under curve, but they tend to beat out the slows, and they tend to beat out the slows well. We have 2 fireballs here in the Mortal Slide and the Grim Reaper. So 4 to 8, 3 to 6. Both have guard on them. And then we have both these lose to sweep. Notably, this one doesn't. The Rusty Nail does not lose to sweep unless it's at range 3. We have opponent must discard a bunch of cards. The opponent discards 3 cards with this. So we're interested to see does Geef initiate a strike at range 1. Almost assuredly dive. Just get into that melee range. We'll happily trade a 5. We'll happily take a 5 or 6 trade to do so. Migo just responds to the focus like we expected, like everyone in the world expected. It is the dive. 3 for 4 trade there. Gordo does get to draw a card. Zangief now at range 1 with a gauge. So range 1, normally this card's pretty annoying to deal with. But when Zangief has criticals on deck, suddenly this card becomes less playable. With the +1 speed that Zangief attaches at range 1, this card becomes way less playable. And then obviously we didn't see the last card. Last card is Turbulence, aka Devourer. The boost, this attack is not the best, but the boost is very, very good. Gordo actually has an actual boost kit, which is, a boost kit in my Season 6, I don't know about that, but Devourer has a parry. Blowback's decent, plus he's fierce, he's tactical. That's a decent boost kit. That is a very decent boost kit, for sure. Anyway, I think Gordo should probably consider getting out of dodge, whether that be through a combat strike or just by running away. Gordo also does have blowback, or fade away, excuse me, and blowback. He has both of them. But we're actually just going to see Gordo initiate a strike at range 1. I think Zangief is going to play a fast, so hopefully Migo's playing a slow. Just kidding. I have no idea how this Mortal Glide's able to go off, but the Mortal Glide goes off. Deals 1 damage to Zangief. Zangief misses, but did spend for the critical, so we'll be able to move 1. That is a spicy Mortal Glide. The double lariat will mitigate most of the damage, but will yoink a card out of Zangief's hand, right? That is spicy. Yoinks the focus out. And so it begins. Mortal Glide has gain advantage, so it will be Migo's turn again. Migo almost assuredly going to be striking here with a range 3 option here. Whether that be assault or dive, or spike. Gordo has other options. The Rusty Nail is on curve. The Grim Reaper is a below curve guarded option. Is Migo gearing up for an EX? Surely not. But he sorted his hand like he was. And yeah, here comes... Wow, it's going to be an EX at range 3. Zangief does not Wild Swing. Notably, this will take 2 cards out of Zangief's hand, so... I wonder if Zeus is going to think about Wild Swinging here just for that reason, which will make this EX more likely to hit. But this is very saucy gameplay from Migo here. The absolutely unhinged Mortal Glide at range 1 into Zangief. I mean, if there is a time to play Mortal Glide, that's the time, right? Where Zangief has only seen 5 cards from his deck, plus the cards he's mulliganed away. So that's the time to strike with the Mortal Glide. That's the time to get the value out of this card. Migo's offense, we know, is very good at extracting value. So, I mean, had the perfect setup, just went for it, and it works out for him. I don't know, I expected Zangief to respond with a critical grasp there or something like that, but not in the cards. So what, I mean, Migo in this position, literally against me yesterday, was unhinged enough to play EX Grim Reaper. But no, it's just going to be the EX Assault. Wild Swing Grasp, 1 Grasp down for Zangief. EX Assault will obviously do 5 damage and yoink another card. Gordo gains advantage again, as is his wont. And yeah, look at this pressure, man. Has to discard the ultimate Atomic Buster. I mean, that's generally just free value for Zangief a lot of times, with its after, if you were hit, add this card to your gauge. Not here. So we see Migo prepare. Zangief has no gauge for the critical. We'll key charge with the double lariat. We'll, for some reason, draw 2. Puts both of them back. Fine, whatever. I mean, really should just stick with that leftmost card. But, fine. Back to Gordo here. Full, healthy hand of 5 cards. I'm expecting like a blowback strike here. Or assimilation. Yeah, Gordo. Yeah, here comes the assimilation. Advanced Order Retreat 2, take another action. Good boost. Good boost. I mean, Gordo has movement for days. Probably just going to be striking here. Wonder if Migo goes below curve with a precise aim here, or the safe cross. Such a difficult read to make if you're Zangief, and you don't really have cards to make a read either. Just going to be a block, and it is the safe cross from Zangief. Or from Gordo, excuse me. Luckily, Migo's UA gets no value there, because Zeus has no hand. Zeus almost assuredly forced to prep here. Gordo will probably prep in response as well. Zeus will probably prep again, if I had to guess. I mean, I think Zeus should prep here. The number 1 mistake I've seen against for players against Migo's Gordo is the fact that they don't prepare enough. Prepare action is fun. It's great. I love it. What's that copy pasta? If preparing has 1,000 fans, then I'm one of the 1,000 fans. If preparing has 1 fan, then I'm that fan. If preparing has no fans, that means I'm dead. Very much applies here. And hopefully should apply to the Zangief. Zangief spends 2 force to move to range 3. Just bleeding resources down is Migo's Gordo here. I mean, assaults are down for Gordo at least, as is a Rusty Nail, so that means only 1 copy of Rusty Nails on curve for Gordo here. And he's stuck in the corner, so I guess this makes sense, but I would have liked to see this happen later. I don't think there's any reason to do that now. You really want to be just building up resources here, I think, into Gordo. Did Migo really draw EX Rusty Nail, EX Assault here? Because he's clicking like he's clicking in his mouse like he's gonna strike here. I mean, Zangief hard telegraphing Assault, but only 2 cards, right? CPAP more like C-Prep. Thanks, Ice Pop. Thank you. Nope, Gordo just decides to prep. I mean, what? Zangief's gonna yoink advantage here. We are critting. We are spending even more resources. So what are we looking at? We're looking at crit power bomb. We're looking at crit power. What? Oh man, you can tell how high the voice goes determines how unhinged the play is. But we are critting. Is this a fake? Is this spike? Are we really spending resources to fake a spike here? I mean, we're telegraphing assault. Oh, it's real? Oh no. What are we doing? What are we doing with our life? Migo deals 5 damage. I mean, stun immunity doesn't matter when you get dove over. That is... This is... Migo's got to be loving every second of this. This is just not how you fight Gordo. This is character inexperience coming into play here. Who plays Gordo, right? But this is... Wow. And here comes the godlike. +2 power after if your attack hit, you may spend 2 gauge. Of course, Migo playing a Season 6 character, so he builds a billion gauge. Already at 5 gauge here. I mean, this godlike can go off 3 times. And poor Zangief on 13 life. Just 3 little baby cards. No crit possible. This is... Oh my god. Might have to put a parental advisory on this one, because Migo is just all over the Zangief here. I think the resource game from Zeus is just all out of whack. I mean, Migo can afford to dive there in that position, right? Because it's like, what? Your opponent's really going to spend a gauge for assault? That's still a win. And yeah, Migo going to strike with a card here. It's going to be discard 2 cards. Oh no, block gets stunned. Block gets stunned. This is an 8 power sweep and Zeus has no force to his name. And Migo deals 6 through a block. At this point, we don't even need to track the cards. We don't even need to track the cards at this point. This is pack them up. Pack them up. Yeah, block gets stunned. That anyway, you think you're building gauge off there, my friend? No, sir. That is... Oh no, that is so... That's just depressing, man. That's just depressing. Zeus, I mean, forced to prep. It's Migo's turn again. Has +2 power on deck. Don't have to worry about critical anything. Just strike again. And here it is. At the very least, Gordo is almost out of melee options, but I mean, there's no way a player of Migo's caliber lets this slip through, I think. Fast slow mix up for Gordo here. Gordo going fast. I mean, forcing Zangief to continue to be at range 1, I guess. But this is going to be a 5 damage grasp. Banishing Flat, notably not stunned. But Zangief going to be at range 1. Down to 2 HP. Godlike sustains itself again. And this is just... Oh, Migo says don't even need it. Don't even need it. I stopped tracking cards a while ago. There's a chance I didn't click that block. SPD drops, obviously, off the Gordo hit effect. Zangief says... Trust in the Wild Swing, baby. Gordo also doing the same. Zangief dives out into range 3, and block goes to gauge. Alright, fine. I mean, this is just formalities at this point now, right? I mean, Gordo, just time to run away. Yeah, mix up strike. Go to range 4, both dives are down, and that's it. That is it. Migo takes game number 2 in absolutely dominant fashion. Just Zeus did not know how to play against Gordo there. Did just unaware of the resource strain that Gordo puts on the opponent, just making some really expensive plays there. And Migo, a player of Migo's caliber will just be all over that. And man, that is, well, Zangief unfortunately does not work out for Zeus, so Zeus will have to complete a reverse sweep if he wants to stay alive in this tournament. Migo has either the Propeller or the Jin to win one last game. Notably, he's 3-0 with the Jin and 0-3 with the Propellers, so I think it's going to be pretty obvious what character comes out for Migo, unless he wants to avoid the mirror match, because Zeus can bring out the Jin to go for the mirror. Whenever Zeus brings out the Aurier, says the Jin and the Geef have not been working. Go to the Aurier instead, but yeah, I mean, Zeus is going to have to complete the reverse sweep against Migo if he wants to stay alive in this tournament. Has the Geef, has the Polar, has the Jin, has the Aurier. Wonder if Migo goes for the Propeller just because he doesn't want to fight the mirror? I don't really know what Migo wants to play here, because the only training I did with Migo, the only coaching that I did with Migo, was I played 4 games of Gordo Jin and 2 games of Gordo Aurier. It is going to be the Aurier, and it is going to be the Jin. Wow. Alright, Migo on his main chicken, bringing out the Jin Kisaragi. We saw the cards before, we don't need to see him again. Migo does not play Head Empty Jin. He does to a certain extent, but likes going for the Ultras, especially loves that Moon Song. Also is cool with the Exceed mode as well. We see Migo Exceed before. Zeus with the Aurier, for the most part, has been playing frontside Aurier, let's replace. Has been playing frontside Aurier with the +2 armor. So I mean, very clearly, I mean, I don't want to say, don't want to color your thoughts, but backside Aurier is the way to go. Although Zeus has admitted to me that he's a believer in backside Aurier to a certain extent as well. So maybe we'll see the backside Aurier come out. But should be an interesting matchup, especially because Aurier is a character that can contest Jin in yoinking advantage back, right? Like, has 3 stun immune gain advantage cards. Zeus is a player that likes to go for Rest in Peace a lot. So take a look at this very polarizing card that Aurier has. It's a 2-gauge Ultra, 1-2, 1-0-6 if you were hit +6 power. This is a potential 12 Delta card that, like, you just have to read correctly, right? As we see Aurier boost Respect. I think this is the first time we've seen a Respect come out, so we'll take a look at what Respect does. Now advance up to 3 at the start of your next turn. Draw 2 and discard this, moving to 1. Jin likes 2, and Jin will get 2, obviously, with the Ice Blade. I'm assuming Jin probably doesn't want to let this Respect go through. I mean, striking from range 2 is totally fine. We're in Jin's wheelhouse here. I'll take a look at some Aurier cards while we're here. So Aurier has a cross-up, Aurier has a reverse DP, Aurier has a bad card, Aurier has a good card with power on it, Aurier has a focus like here. You cannot be push or pulled. I call them focus likes. I don't really know if they're called focus likes colloquially. Recipes, which we already discussed, and the Luminous Embrace, which is a boost and or sometimes an anti-fireball tool. We're going to see Jin play the on-curve cross to beat the focus. Aurier takes 1, not stunned, will draw a card. Respect does not go off there. Jin back to range 4. Aurier doesn't have a bunch of range 4 options, but if you notice, every single one of these boosts has Advance or Retreat, or an Advance X on it. I mean, 4 of them have Advance or Retreat 1, and the 5th one has Advance 4. So Aurier, no stranger to getting into the opponent, and yeah, here comes the air dash boosted. Must go to range 1, so I think Zeus just maybe forgetting there, but yeah, air dash. Unlike cross in seasons 1 through 5, you are forced to move 3, but of course you can choose to retreat with that as well. We see Jin boost the permafrost +4 guard, now draw 2, just refilling up to that full hand that we all know Jin loves. We're going to see the 5th Executor boosted. Now strike hit, your total power becomes 5, so we have basically a Grasp Ceiling Hoplon mix-up. Ceiling Hoplon would be a 5 power ignore guard option. Grasp obviously just a 1/5/7. Also adds to gauge, so empowers that backside Aurier even more. The Ceiling Hoplon obviously would directly counter this +4 guard. Just a really, really nasty mix-up that Aurier throws. I mean, Aurier has a bunch of... Whoops, let's not zoom that far over. Aurier has a bunch of cards that just win in certain situations. And yeah, it is the Ceiling Hoplon. Just gets blocked by Jin. So Jin will have to spend 2 forces, otherwise he'll be stunned here. The Ceiling Hoplon will deal 5... I mean, we'll do no damage, surely. Will gain advantage. I think Migo's still deciding what cards to spend. Don't know. Spends an assault and a dive to take no damage. Yeah, there's no way you're getting stunned by a Ceiling Hoplon. There's no reason. Aurier will step back to range 2 and gain advantage into the corner, however. So seems alright. Has the 7 to engage if Aurier wants to exceed in the future. Fifth Executor number 2, let's go. I mean, similar mix-up vibes here, except it's going to be like a cross ceiling Hoplon mix-up. You can toss in a 2-me command order on that as well. Jin quick for the dive. I feel like this dive's not going to win. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a fan of that dive. I don't know. I feel like that would... I mean, Jin trying to call out the second copy of the Ceiling Hoplon, right? I feel like the 2-me command order was more likely there as the quote-unquote slower option to be represented in that mix-up. So I'm not really a big fan of that dive from Jin. Aurier now at range 5. Notably, Aurier has a really good ranged option here in the Luminous Embrace. However, both of those are down. So we are looking at the succession. 3-5, 3-2, hit, pull 3, gain advantage. Wow, such a good card, huh? Such a really just a really great card. Anyway, Jin going to be initiating a strike here with the overhead. Ignore armor, now strike. I mean, is this going to be an Ice Blade into a succession trade? What's going on here? Jin not spending for an after draw 2, despite only having 1 card in hand, which is a little bit curious to me. But maybe Jin's last card in hand is just Moonsong. He's just going to rip that. I don't know. Or this overhead does build gauge number 4 for Jin if this card hits. So maybe going for the Exceed. Okay, Aurier going for the Wild Swing. It is the Ice Blade. It is the Ceiling Hoplon. So, I mean, Ceiling Hoplon's going to whiff. That second copy of Ceiling Hoplon down, which is a little bit sad for Aurier, because I think that's such an important part of our mix-up. Just the ignore guard option. The Ice Blade will hit for 4 damage. Jin will get 2 gauge off that. We'll draw a card as well. Jin builds 4 gauge now. So maybe looking at the Exceed side as a way to starve out Aurier. Jin actually opting to close... actually, no, I think Jin's still deciding whether he wants to close. Yeah, closes 1 to range 4. Ceiling Hoplon will miss. That will be 4 damage incoming to Aurier. Did Aurier take the 4? Has Jin really only dealt 5 damage this game? Okay, I guess Jin just dealt 1 damage about 4 gauge. Anyway, we're going to see the legendary backside Aurier come out. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the time. We got 2 7s in the gauge here. Action! Spend a gauge, strike. Your attack has hit. Your printed power becomes equal to the printed power of the top card you discard. Pop a 7 in the discard. Bam, you have a 7 power attack. So good. So good. Such a good UA. Not enough people use this. So everyone on their high horse about frontside Aurier. But this is where the real power of the character is, in my opinion. So I'm excited to see Zeus go for it. Unfortunately, he doesn't really have a hand. That could be a problem. Doesn't really have the mix-up either with both Ceiling Hoplons down. But I mean, this is the time. This is the time. Zeus on his last tournament. Migo on. I can't even string words together at this point. I'm so excited to see the backside Aurier. Range 4 is not the place to be for Aurier, so I'm assuming we're going to see some sort of move action to come in, whether that be through a boost or through other means. Jin just prepping there, I believe. Aurier just preps in response, that makes sense. I wonder if Jin goes for an OD here. Has the 4 gauge to do so. Standing just a little bit too far away, maybe. Although, yeah, standing a little bit too... I mean, still, range 4 is still a thing where you have Crystal Strike. But if Jin goes for an overdrive, reminder, he won't have gauge for the Ice Fang, and he's down both Ice Blades. So maybe this is not the correct place to be for an overdrive just yet. Might have to move in a little bit, or force the Aurier to move in. Aurier perfectly content at range 4, just building cards. Jin preps again. Maybe not going for the overdrive anymore. Of course, Jin's overdrive draws him a bunch of cards. And also forces opponent discard, like Gordo. Jin just, Migo just really sad that Manelker is not a good character in Yomi, so is playing all the discard characters in Exceed instead. Aurier prepping again, totally comfortable at range 4. I mean, not a whole lot of range 4 options that Jin has, and I believe all of them move Jin in. Like, forced to move in, so Aurier can obviously hit back. See the parry come out. Wonder what gets parried. Rest in peace, probably? Parry whiffs. We're going to see... yeah, I was almost surely the rest in peace. We're going to see a hand of EX Succession. Focus, sweep, 2-me, command order, and a block. So 0, 1, 2, 2-me, and an EX Succession. So yeah, obviously the parry was on rest in peace, especially... given how we've both casted Zeus in the past, and we know that he loves that card. EX Succession in hand, of course, is really good, because Aurier can no longer wild swing that if she needs to wild swing on defense for any reason. So that's good to have in hand. Also, that card has move 1 on it, so, I mean, good card in that respect. But yeah, we can definitely see why Aurier was content to just prep at range 4 now. Because I had the options to trade with Jin, strike with a combat card that would move him in from range 4. Migo does have readings live, but doesn't really have a way to punish reading. Like, can read a block and gain advantage is probably the best thing he can do at range 4. If he were at range 3, this would be a lot scarier for Aurier, though. Aurier would basically be forced to CC your normals away. Maybe Aurier is forced to CC your normals away anyway. Just in case Jin does a cheeky advantage chain. We're going to see Aurier drop 5 cards, keeping the block to CC5, drawing 6. So it drops, Jesus, just making life really tough for me. Think we got them all. So I believe that is dropping a 1, a 2, an EX Succession, and a 2-me command order. Interesting to drop the 2-me command order. That card performs quite well with your backside UA. Just like if Jin's like here and Aurier's here, the 2-me command order is always just gonna hit. It's just like free guaranteed value, so it's interesting to see him drop that option. Also, his hand becomes a lot more predictable. 7 in hand, 10 in deck, and Migo is not shy from going for a cheeky reading here in this kind of position. So hopefully Zeus didn't draw too many cards there, CC too many cards away. Notably, Aurier now has 0 ranged options. I mean, not that it really matters, but that's a thing. Notably, if we look at Oria's options left, there's not really a great reading there. Jin moving to range 3, now threatening a preemptive something. This is good. Or like a reading something as well. This is good. I like this. Block saved in the hand. I mean, could just be reading block play spike at this point. That block could be a liability in Oria's hand. Like forcing Aurier to take a null turn here to just do nothing. As well, with the move to range 3, I actually like that a lot from Migo. I like that a lot. Because you're basically forcing Aurier to pass turn here as well. And then you're in a better position for yourself at the end of it. How is Aurier going to deal with this? This is a problem. This is problematic for Aurier. Jin obviously just representing the above curve Moonsong here as well. This could be a little bit of trouble. I mean, luckily Aurier has big comeback mechanics too, right? And its life totals are 25 to 25. It's not the biggest deal in the world. I just sees it superior boosted, +1 to everything. Aurier says, read my block if you want to. Shocker. Committing superior here is definitely not the right play. Like, this is now you're throwing a cross and a block down the drain just to get spiked. Yeah, this is no good. Wait. What? Block wasn't red. It's not spike. What is this then? Say hand of 003 to me command order, Divine Thrust, Sacred Arrow, Rest in Peace. I hope Migo's not playing an Assault or something. Into the Rest in Peace. I am shocked that this is not reading block play spike. I am just absolutely shocked that's not the case. What else could this be then? Is Migo playing a Moonsong? I mean, Moonsong at the very least will do no damage to the Rest in Peace, and Rest in Peace won't hit back. If Migo's playing an Assault, that's sad. It's incredibly sad. I don't think he is, though. I'm assuming he read Dive to get rid of a reading from Aurier, maybe. Maybe that's the K play. But I hope he's not reading Dive and playing Assault. I hope he's reading Dive and playing Moonsong. But that is a spicy reading for sure. That is a spicy reading. And oh no, the Moonsong into the Sacred Arrow. Forgot this card was in the hand of Aurier. The reverse CP, all that gauge down the toilet. Sacred Arrow just nullifying that attack, and hey, that advantage Aurier now. Advantage Aurier, full. Honestly, advantage Aurier. Was that the first Sacred Arrow or the second one? I can't remember. We'll just say there's one left. But that is all of Jin's resources down the toilet. That's 4 gauge spent just to get, yeah, that is rough. I mean, Migo just obviously wanting to get the reading option out of the hand, right? We see the Divine Thrust boosted, +1 power now, move 1. Aurier, I mean, the threats are obvious, right? We have, like, Spike, 2 meat command order, and a rest in peace, and a top deck. Also, the card tracker is almost assuredly wrong, by the way, for Ori's cards. Not to expose myself or anything here, but the card tracker is almost assuredly wrong. Although I do know that there's like multiple dives left. Okay, now we're gonna see another reading come out here. Now is this gonna be the reading? Oh, just reading Spike play Assault. Also works. I mean, text the boost. Unfortunately, that's 2 readings down for only 4 damage that Migo got there. I mean, gets advantage, but only 4 damage, and I feel like Migo could have extracted way more value out of those readings than he did. Now sitting at range 1. Just has to be worried about the rest in peace, right? That's just a threat you just have to be worried about. We're actually just going to see the pinpoint strike come out. Now strike hit +1 power. You may advance retreat 1, gain advantage. Drops the dual ice for that. Spends for after draw 2 as well. Striking. I'm assuming this is a card that doesn't lose to rest in peace. So what's a card that doesn't lose to rest in peace? Like Cross. Second copy of Dual Ice doesn't lose to rest in peace. Although that's a weird one with this boost because actually no, Dual Ice would not gain advantage, or he is standing on center. So Dual Ice makes a lot of sense here, I think, from Migo. I think those are basically the only cards that make sense. If I'm being 100% honest, those feel like the only cards that make sense. Oh, good call. Ice Pop, correctly noting that there's +1 power, so sweep also works. Yeah, that's a good shout there, Ice Pop. Unless Ori draws EX Rest in Peace, I don't know if that's a risk that Jin's willing to take, is the issue, right? So there are 2 Rest in Pieces left in the deck, I believe. And I think Ori has drawn 2 cards off the top of her deck since the moment we saw the hand. So, I mean, if Migo's really willing to risk getting hit by EX Rest in Peace, right, is the only question, then yeah, I mean, depends on Migo's propensity for risk there. Propensity is not the right word, but I mean, it's not the wrong word, but it's not the right word. There were better words there, but no, propensity is just the wrong word, but Migo's willingness to take risk here. And he's a player that's willing to take 80% bets. He'll definitely do that. It's the block. Good call, Ice Pop. It is the sweep. So we'll discard a card at random first. Discards the second block. And it's going to be a 7 power sweep with advantage coming in. Yeah, Migo says, you didn't draw the EX Rest in Peace. Jin moved back to range 2, I'm assuming. And Jin can stay in range 1. Migo now checking his own options. Yeah, almost assuredly, both the card trackers are wrong. Because if we take a quick, just cursory glance, Ori has 11 cards left. And actually for Ori, we do have 11 dots left, but I think Jin's is wrong now. Jin has 12 dots left, 12 cards left, and they're 13 dots up. So there's a card that I missed somewhere along the line. It might be that Violent Ice, actually, funnily enough. Oh, wait. This guy's tracking the cards. Oh, coming in clutch. Coming in clutch. What have I missed? Oh, I missed Jin discarding a grasp somewhere. Maybe... Alright, fine. Does Ori have a grasp? Ori spends the Rest in Peace to take 1 damage. Well, he has 2 cards left in hand. Jin does have advantage. I mean, obviously that was a big resource sink, and this Ori once this Ori exceeded Hasn't really gotten any value off the backside Ori action yet. Just has initiated, I believe, 0 strikes since that moment. Not willing to part with the 7th engage, would rather part with the rest in peace in hand. I think that makes sense personally, but just optically doesn't, from a pure optics perspective, it doesn't look great. Jin going for the reshuffle here. And takes it back, goes for the prepare instead. Says there's more cards I need to draw here. There's more value that can be extracted out of my first reshuffle. And I think there is. I mean, there's like a preemptive in there. There's like another sweep in there. There's on-curve options in the cross and the grasp and the DP as well. I'm totally fine with Jin not reshuffling here. I think there's still more value that can be extracted, more reliable value that can be extracted out of this first reshuffle. Back to Zeus here. Zeus going for it. Pops the 7, and we are in business. What could this be? I mean, there are known cards in Zeus's hand, I feel like. There's a Spike. No, Spike's not known. I don't know what's in there. Oh, Spike got spent for the reading. Bam. I think we've now fixed Ori's thing. Right? 10 cards left. Is this the potential 13 power rest in peace? Or is this like a 7 power divine thrust, for example, right? That's the Ori mix up. This is the scary stuff right here. This is the scary stuff for sure. I'm pretty sure the card trackers actually should be like that. Pretty sure I accidentally, what happened was I removed a grasp from Ori when I should have removed a grasp from Jin. It's gonna be the Dual Ice. It's the To-Me command order. Dual Ice gets stunned. I mean, Dual Ice is gonna get stunned pretty much in every case except for the case that Ori plays Rest in Peace. But that To-Me command order at 7 power will deal 4 damage to Jin. To-Me command order also gains advantage. Jin armoring through a lot of that, so actually, while that Dual Ice gets stunned, totally, like, okay, like, not the end of the world. I really just don't want to die, just really didn't want to die to the Rest in Peace, which I totally respect, given what we know about Zeus as a player. I totally respect that play. Just mitigating most of the damage anyway, and, like, it's not a spike, so. Ori going for it again. This is going to be a 7 power something from range 3. Assault is kind of like one of the only things that hits here for Ori is the thing. There's not a whole lot of options for Ori to hit if she wants to get good value, right? This was the issue with both ceiling hoplons going down so early. Jin can just say no with the cross if he has it. Jin going for the Wild Swing. It's going to be the Crystal Strike beating out the dive, and this is I don't know about that one, man. I don't know about that one. That is extremely unhinged. I mean, Mi goes down, assaults, and dives, right? So at the end of the day, there wasn't a ton of stuff that beats the dive, but it's just, I feel like that's just pushing the envelope just a little bit too much, you know? Especially spending the 7 there and only getting +2 power out of it is so sad. Like, you could have kept that 7, you still have 17 HP to play with. You get 20 HP at the start of the strike. I just feel like you can save the 7 for a better strike than that, surely. I mean, Ori now down to just her Wild Swing. That's rough. That's a rough one. It's a rough one for sure. I mean, kudos to Migo for Wild Swing the right option at that time, but also I feel like was a little bit unhinged. We see Jin now go up for an after draw 2 strike, or a forced to Wild Swing. Spike beats the sweep. Oh no, it's gone from bad to worse for Jin, or for Aurier here. Spike deals 5. I mean, Spike, not very likely to get stunned there. Actually, I'm pretty sure Spike just couldn't get stunned there. Because I believe that option is down as well. Spike just couldn't get stunned there, I think. I mean, could have been met with an assault from Aurier, but Jin still gets the value on draw 2, so totally acceptable there. Aurier preps. Yeah, Migo just showing a willingness to just not die to the rest in peace here. Playing only options at range 1 and 2 that don't lose to the rest in peace. But now, I mean, Jin is looking so good here. Looking very, very good. Backside Aurier, no valuable cards in here just yet. I mean, has a couple 5ers left in her deck, if she's able to hit with those. Jin thinking of the reshuffle here, picking up that astral, putting it down, picks up the discard, puts it down, picks up the astral, puts it down, spins the astral around, picks up the discard, and there it is. Reshuffle action taken by Migo. Brings that Arctic Dungeon into the hand. Obviously no gauge for it, so it will just be a burst. But getting all those options back. We're going to see the mix up to 3 and striking with Dive or Assault. I believe. I mean, unless the card track is wrong. If the card track is wrong and one of those options is down, then I'm just kind of looking like a little bit of a fool here. It's the Assault. Migo calls it out with the sweep. Aurier down to her last 6 life. Mix up to 3 meant that Jin could just play options that like would normally lose to Rest in Peace. And we're going to see Aurier go for the reshuffle here now. One card to her name. This could be over very soon. Notably, I believe Aurier had 0 cards in her hand when she reshuffled. So like super unlikely to have drawn the Rest in Peace. Which is kind of the main comeback mechanic here for Aurier. And Jin just all over it. Jin might even keep the Astral in hand and say, this is a reliable option for me to win a game later. I don't know if he like doesn't even have to burst here, in theory. If he thinks that that's a reliable card. Nope, just goes for the burst anyway. Draw 2, take another action. Migo with 3 gauge. And yeah, I agree with you, Ice Pop. I think Migo's sensing blood in the water here. Is that the saying? Like a shark? I'm assuming that's what sharks do. They sense blood in the water and go for the kill. Here's an after draw 2. Strike. This could literally be anything. Migo's drawn 2 cards off the top. It's going to be the DP. So Ceiling Hop on will hit back for 2, as is Aurier's want. DP will hit first for 4, obviously. Jin will draw 2 more cards. 15 to 4. 15 to 2, excuse me. Should be 2. Yeah, there it is. Aurier going for big CC here, just looking for any hope. Notably, CC's down to 1 gauge. No Rest in Peace live. Rest in Peace is not live. Surely Migo strikes into that just for that alone. Like, Moonsong if you have it. Or like Assault if you have it. Ignore Armor as well. Just the only thing is, I mean, it's Aurier, right? So Aurier does have reverse DPs. Wonder if he's baiting out one here. And going for an Ignore Armor Dual Ice Strike. Or an Ignore Armor Ice Blade. To bait out the reverse DP. Divine Thrust will dodge. Divine Thrust will hit for 0, and the Dual Ice Switch we predicted will miss. So Aurier stays alive. I mean, Aurier is just a character that is very good at staying alive. Standing at range 3. You can't really initiate a strike here unless you're trying to bait out a Moonsong. Right? Or maybe you can. I mean, at this point, you're just playing mix-ups, right? As Aurier. You're just playing mix-ups. We're going to see a Just Defense, plus 3 armor. Now strike. Plus 3 armor, what? This could be literally anything. It could be Assault, could be the Divine Thrust, could be anything. Could be, I mean, Dive Spike, could be slow. Can't be the Ceiling Hoplon, which is, I think, good news for Migo. We see Migo attempt to dive it. It is the Assault. Okay, Ori is still in it. Migo reading Spike or Rest in Peace. Something like that. Ori will deal 4 damage. Yoink Advantage and Boost Superior. Okay, I mean, Ori is still in it, right? That she's the queen of good options. You can never count Ori out. I mean, unless she spends all her good options, I guess. Then you can count her out. But Migo's struggling a little bit to find a way to kill here. I mean, can't just mash DP, right? Because, I mean, it's always a mix-up with Aurier. See the Permafrost boosted. Now draw 2 plus 4 guard. Notably, a really funny thing is now a really safe option for Migo is Focus. Because it undercuts the Rest in Peace at speed 1 if Zeus is initiating here. That is something to watch out for. Oh, I guess Aurier took a turn and I missed it, and then Migo goes for the attack? Okay. I don't know what Aurier did on her turn. I'm assuming Aurier just prepared. Okay, it was prep. Yeah, I just want to make sure that... I mean, like, I trust Migo didn't take 2 turns in a row there, but still, I just wanted to make sure, because I was... I'm not going to lie to you guys, I have SVU going on in the background, so I looked up for a hot second. But anyways, it is back to Aurier here. Now the Rest in Peace is live again. It is live. Migo not obviously wanting to contend with the likes of EX Sweep or, I mean, EX Fast Slow mix-up with the potential... not really the best power options here, actually. Aurier unable to hit with a sweep and spent the Luminous Embrace, the second Luminous Embrace, on a very cheeky dive that didn't work out for him. But, I mean, Aurier's still in this. She's still in this. Let's see the tech hit come out. For guard not wanting to trade here with whatever Aurier's planning on throwing here. It is a little bit concerning that Zeus is not playing a combat card right away after tech hitting. Okay, there's one. Normally I feel like when you play tech hit, you have a plan, so it's a little bit concerning. But I think he was just checking options, just checking all of his cards. It looked like he was hovering over a Permafrost, so I hope that wasn't him telegraphing like a slow. Notably, Permafrost in this position beats the Rest in Peace. Permafrost is 7 power. Would pop the 6 defenses of a Rest in Peace. Would also pop the 6 defenses of a Sweep. So it's a little bit weird that he was mousing over the Permafrost like that for so long. You have to be very careful of where you put your cursor in this game, in TTS, because the opponent can see it. Obviously, you can use that to your advantage if you're like faking something out. Migo goes for the Permafrost. It beats the Rest in Peace. 7 power Permafrost pops the 6 defenses of Rest in Peace. Aurier down to her last life. Wow. Just absolute scenes here. Absolute scenes here. I don't think what I described was the actual cause of that interaction. But I will say it made me look really good there. As we see an after draw 2 from Jin here. Fast, slow. No Rest in Peace to contend with. Grasp will lose out to the Sacred Arrow. Aurier still lives. Jin on only 6 life. Such as Aurier, literally unkillable. What a character. Aurier will reverse Veil off and then CC 0? That's a... Well, I mean, it's a play that happened. It's a CC 0. Zeus has already seen this card, can't really take it back. That is nerves right there. That is nerves right there. Man just went for a CC 0. What? What is going on now? Oh, Migo... this is a spike gets revealed. Migo very graciously allowing his opponents to prepare there. Because Aurier did just revert and then take a CC0 action. And Migo could have said, yep, that's your turn. It's my turn now. But no, Migo allows Zeus to prepare there. Back to Migo. Migo says, I want to win this clean. Although I don't really think it's winning dirty if you don't allow your opponent to mess up there, but whatever. Yeah, back to Migo here. Full hand. Surely he can kill Aurier here, right? Surely there's something that can happen. Aurier now with 3 gauge, so that second Rest in Peace is looking pretty juicy here. I mean, it's Aurier, right? The queen of options, right? He doesn't have the Ceiling Hoplon anymore, but it's mix-up city. It's always mix-up city against the Aurier. Jin spending for after draw 2 and then takes it back. And then spends for the after draw 2, takes it back, and then spends for it, commits to it. I think this is Jin going fast again, honestly. Just play the odds and hope the Aurier... Oh! And now Migo takes his move back. Now Migo unsure. Shuffle your hand, Migo. Now it takes a look at the discard. The Ori... Okay, spends 2 force to move back. Get out of there. Recognizes, hey, range 1, not my preferred range. Let's bring it back. Bring it back to range 3. There's no way Aurier can initiate here, and yeah, it's going to be a succession boosted +1 armor, +1 guard, now move 1. Notably, now your Rest in Peace has 8 defenses, which can be important. With 7 armor, meaning that something like a pinpoint strike sweep doesn't win games anymore. I wonder if this is Jin's cue to strike with a cross? Right? And this loses, right? This is not 100% cross. This loses to something like a Luminous Embrace. Migo keeping the 3 gauge, so keeps Moonsong in the mix-up. I don't know if he wants to keep Moonsong in the mix-up, though. Maybe he does. I think Migo's playing an option that doesn't lose to Rest in Peace here, though. Whether that be a cross or a spike. Spike here is looking decent for Migo, actually. Just looking at what's left for Aurier. Spike hits a lot of those cards. And, like, isn't Aurier really going to be playing, like, a 2-me command order at range 2 with only 1 health to her name? But this is spicy. This is spicy for sure for both players. Okay, it's the cross, it's the Rest in Peace. Oh no. Wow. Well, the game's not over yet, but Aurier no longer has that key tool to work with anymore. Both Rest in Pieces are now down for Aurier. Man. This game keeps on giving. This game keeps on giving. Aurier down to only 2 cards to her name. 1 gauge. I mean, massive Jin favor here, right? Aurier down both blocks as well. Aurier's gonna have to move in, but then when she moves in, she's gonna be down a bunch of resources. I mean, still has 1 really good tool to her name in that second copy of the Sacred Arrow, but you see a CC action. Change cards 3, drawing 4. Discards a Luminous from hand, I believe, to do so. Saying I don't need that card anymore. I mean, it makes your attack have 5 power, and is not really an ultra that's gonna matter here, I think. But Jin now at range 4 has 1 copy of Ice Fang to his name. Has 2 copies of Dual Ice Blade as well. If he wants to attempt to undercut an Aurier here, or undercut the reverse CP, you see the Flying Ice Strike boosted. The opponent cannot move. That is, so the opponent cannot EX dive you, basically, is what we're looking at here. And then Migo's gonna try to kill with an Ice Fang and or a Ice Blade, right? That's what Migo's end game plan is. And Aurier down both techs. Can Aurier even get out of this? I don't think Aurier can get out of this. I think that's just game. Wait, I think that's actually just game. Aurier has no tech hits. And Aurier can't leave. And she's only at 1 HP. Her fast option, EX Dive, neutralized, right? That was the option that outspeeds the Ice Fang or the Ice Blade. So neutralized. I think this is just a checkmate from Migo here. If so, very well spotted with the Flying Ice Strike. Very, very good. Very, very good underutilized boost there from Migo. Don't really see this boost too often. Boost goes off, or boost stays on the board, right? Or he just opts to prepare, but I think she's drawing dead. I think she's drawing dead. Migo attacks on ignore armor just for kicks. It's just so he doesn't have to check whether both blocks are down, I guess. And I mean, Aurier stuck on the board, can't move, and it's the Ice Fang. And yeah, Sacred Arrow's not going to do it. Migo takes the set 3-0. And wow, very, very well spotted there from Migo with the checkmate Flying Ice Strike there at the end. This game definitely got hairy, right? Just because Aurier is able to kind of BS her way through life. But overall, pretty dominant 3-0 win here from Migo over Zeus. Condolences to Zeus. I think this is the first time I've seen him in tournament. Maybe he's played in tournaments in the past. I don't know. But I mean, made it to the quarterfinals here. Good showing, regardless. Even beat Mix in the first round, right? But Migo with just a really... Oh, Migo showing the out. It's actually a reading. Thanks, Migo. Good guy. Just like read an option and then hope that it whiffs. Good guy, Migo, showing us the out here. Not a checkmate, but I mean, very difficult to spot. Very, very difficult to spot. But yeah, anyway, Migo takes us at 3-0. We'll move on to the semifinals where he will be fighting Chica. That's going to be definitely an interesting match to watch. And earlier today, Mix beat Shelby 3-0 as well. So Rose Mix will be happening, and it'll be happening live here. Well, maybe not live. I don't know if I'll be streaming it or not. But you can check out my channel for that. That will be coming on Tuesday nights. If I'm streaming, it'll be at 6 p.m. Eastern. If I'm not streaming, then the VOD will be up by like 9. But Rose, Mix, Chica, and Migo are your top 4 competitors for Chimera Summer Bash. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys like the content, feel free to leave a like, leave a subscribe, leave a follow. I don't know what you guys are supposed to leave on Twitch, but I hope you guys enjoy the content. Really, really fun games to watch overall. Excited to see who wins the tournament. I mean, these are basically four of the favorites of the tournament coming in to make the top 4 here. So no real surprises here for the bracket. But it'll be interesting to see who wins in the coming weeks. And the last 3 matches, or 4, I guess, if there's a bronze match happening, are all pretty much guaranteed to be bangers. But thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you for the next one. Bye-bye.